Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Najee from RapRadar.com. And seated to my right, I got a very special guest, man. I'm excited. Album coming. See you next Wednesday. I got my man Belly. What's up, bro?
Sir,
man. Nah, what's going on, dog? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Feeling good, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I know this ain't new for you, right? Like, you know, album time, this you've been used to this, but I feel like once the track list drop, I'm seeing big names. I'm seeing it feel big. It feel like a bigger moment. Do you feel like that? Did you try to approach it like that?
I mean, man, I just try to make sure every moment feels like a bigger moment at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be stagnant and, like, you know, remaining on one level.
Yeah.
If I'm not moving up in this shit, and I don't even want to be a part of it. That's why I stopped playing fantasy sports, because I was like in the middle of the pack all the time.
Oh, what you mean, like not winning, like in the middle?
Yeah, I was never winning, bro. I made the playoffs like twice.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? If I'm not good at this,
I'm out.
I'm gonna just let it go.
Yeah.
So if I can't grow all the time, then I just let it go.
He's off that. Damn, I like that. Tell me, so I got a chance to really listen to the project. You know, sit back and vibe with it. You got some dope shit on there.
Thank you.
Tell me about the title. See you next Wednesday. Like that just stands out. Like where does that come from? What does that mean to you?
Man, I'm a movie guy. I love movies, and John Landis is like a legendary director from the 90s.
Yeah.
And he always would drop that as like an Easter egg in his movies. So he would like put billboards in the background, you know, all kind of different stuff that said, see you next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And even in Thriller, because he directed Thriller for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So when Michael Jackson's getting up and walking out of the theater, you hear somebody whisper, see you next Wednesday.
Oh, for real? Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know, so it's like, it's always been like an Easter egg he uses. You know, it's like a way for me to pay homage
to him.
And then for me, this was like a project that took a lot for me to make it, you know, just from personal terms. So
yeah,
it almost felt like my see you next Wednesday in terms of it almost never came out. It was like the project that had everything except the body of work. You feel me?
So why you feel like that is? I mean, you know, I think it's been about 3 years since the last project, and you say, you know, this one took a lot. What do you mean, like this one took more out of you than the previous years?
Man, I think it was almost like a situation of like the Phoenix, you know, like that whole metaphor.
Yeah.
Of like I had just felt like I've been in the game so long, I crashed and burned, and I just needed to find myself, pick myself out of the ashes. You know, that's what I took the time off to do. That was like a personal journey for me to be able to get back.
That's fire. What you think it is that, like, because I feel like we all get those type of moments, like burnt out, you know what I mean? Like when you give your all into some shit. What is it like, I guess the things that kind of make you, you know, kind of recalibrate, get back to yourself and get back right?
Man, you gotta just acknowledge it first. You gotta acknowledge the fact that you need to do something. And then, you know, it's baby steps, man. I'm still, like, you know, not to sound like a cliche, but like, you know, people be like, oh, I'm a work in progress. Like, that never stops. That's until the day that you leave this earth. You're a work in progress, you know? And that's something that I had to learn. I had to learn that, you know, it never stops. You gotta better yourself all the time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I just did that with every aspect that I could, you know, mentally, spiritually, physically, musically, anything that I could approach and just be the best at it that I could and better myself, and that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, I know I looked at some of your, you know, your old interviews, and just, I mean, listening to your music, you're open about a lot of different topics, right? Like you're speaking about topics, and I know like you speaking about mental health and depression and different shit that, you know, you went through. Was that a part of kind of that situation? Like how, you know, and I know you mentioned like taking psychedelics to really, that's some dope shit to really like give you a different perspective. Tell me about that, like that portion, like the psychedelics to really get your mind right.
I just started to learn. I started to learn that, you know, there's ways to unlock certain things, you know. And I did shrooms in high school, you know, but like, I didn't know what the difference was. Like, I was like, just eating them on pizza and shit, just getting high. Like, I didn't.
Not with intention though.
Yeah, but there's no, exactly. It's a great word. There was no intention behind what I was doing. And once I had like learned about how to dose and, you know, the proper dose to do what I wanted to do, then it was easy. Then it was just like, you know, it'd be a little pot of tea that I would make.
Yeah.
I'd drink it over the span of like 5 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little cups, and just once I get that feeling, that thing.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
a
I mean?
fact. I'm gonna tell you, cause for me, like the first time I did psychedelics, like you said, like it was just on some chill shit. I think I was at Made in America the year Kanye was there, and I was just on some like, nigga, I gotta see Ye off this shit, right? So like that was my first time. But like when you do it and really kind of see what it is, and like you start to really learn shit about yourself and, you know, just
Absolutely.
the world around you.
Absolutely.
How much did that play a part just musically in your creativity? Like, you know, just kind of being introduced to that.
I mean, I'm someone that loves to approach music differently a lot. You know, like I think that's how I keep it fresh now too, is that my approach will always be different. So I think, you know, whenever I get bored of a certain approach or whatever, it's dope to do stuff like that to unlock something else and then ride that wave for a little bit. And then, you know, once the water dies down,
go
you know,
with
you
another wave.
find another wave for
Right.
a second. You know, like that's really how I approached it. You know, and music to me has never been more fun to make than right now in my entire life. Like when I make music now, I'm having fun. Me and the homies are getting drunk, or, you know, drinking some wine and drinking some shroom tea in the studio, cracking jokes and laughing.
Right.
We make music for like 45 minutes of the session, and then like it's 6 hours of just getting in the right vibe. You know what I mean? And that's like the most beautiful thing, man. It's like this communal vibe now. You know what I mean? That I've never felt. I always went in there and had all the pressure on me in my own mind you. This wasn't the real vibe of the room. This was the vibe
Just
I created in my head. It was like, yo, it's all on me. Everything's on my shoulders. I gotta hit this buzzer beater. You know what I mean? Like, right now I come in there and it's like, yo, man, I got a dope team. I got one of the dopest squads in music. It's like, we get together, we gonna make some dope shit. We gonna make some fly shit. You know what I mean? And that's gonna come. But just being around my guys and being able to catch a good zone, good energy with them, that's everything, you know?
Nah, for sure. I mean, like you said, you know, you signed the XO, one of the hottest teams of the game, been like that for a minute.
For sure.
And, you know, that added extra pressure, just like the Weeknd, obviously he's huge. You know, I know that's your man, right? So it's probably like, you know, different. But do you feel that extra pressure, like kind of with him and, you know, just trying to help live up to certain things, like with him around?
Nah, I don't look at it like that. For me, it's motivation. Like the more people that God has blessed me to be around, that I could catch stuff from and learn from, you know, that I look at that like a blessing. You know what I mean? Like I get to learn from, you know, somebody who's a genius at his craft.
Yeah.
And I can apply some of that genius into my own craft. You know, and I've been blessed to be around a lot of people that have that top tier skill in whatever they do. You know what I mean? So that's really my blessing, is being able to, you know, learn and pick the brain of certain people that could really, you know, teach you something that no one else in the world could teach you.
Right. So what kind of things does, you know, like Abel or even Jay Z, I think you tweeted earlier this year, like, you know, I know I'm done when I send it, you know, when I send it to Hove in the weekend, I gotta play it for them.
Yeah.
Like what kind of, I guess, advice or what kind of shit do they tell you, like after they listen to your project and, you know, kind of give you those gems?
I think with Abel, it's more like hands-on in terms of like, once I get to the end of an album cycle, Abel will pull up and we'll get in the studio for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then he'll just, you know, any man, down to like some ad-libs that he'll be like, yo, this would be dope if it was like this, or you know what I mean? Like he'll really
just comb through it and
just really, you know, and the body of work is already there. He's just so good at like, and he's so meticulous, you know, in terms of polishing and making things a certain way, you know what I mean? So he always comes and gives me his advice and really puts his hands in the work, you know?
Yeah.
Hove will send me like a play-by-play of the album.
Yeah.
And I get a play-by-play.
Was you like breaking it down? Like how
even like the bars that he loves, you know what I mean? Like, or he'll be like, yo, you're crazy to let this song, or let people wait, you know, 9 records to get to this one. Like bump this one up, bro.
Right.
Like you need this one higher on the list, you know, like stuff like that. And then he, you know, we all about the bars at the end of the day.
That's
so
a fact.
we be breaking down bars to each other every time he drops something and I hear something crazy, and I know it went over most people's heads. I make sure I sound like, you know, I caught this, right? Like, you know what I mean? And it's the same way, you know, back and forth. So until I get that from both sides, And
then you know you're not.
then I'm not dropping
Got
nothing,
the dream
you
team,
know?
man.
Exactly.
Yeah, nah, for
Until
sure.
I get that, like, you know, that stamp, then I don't even consider putting it out.
Yeah, nah, I feel that. I fuck with that. I want to get into some of the records on the tape. Obviously, you dropped a couple singles. The Zero Love joint, I like that. I like that. Like you know,
man.
like it's tennis. Zero Love, like it's tennis. Tell me about that. Obviously, you got Moneybagg Yo on there. When you making records like that, and is it like you hear Bag? I'm like, all right, I gotta get Bag. Like,
That's
tell me about
exactly
that.
what it is.
Yeah.
You hit it on the head.
Because I felt like that too. Just hearing it, I was like, I could see why.
Bro, I couldn't even do the second verse. Like, it would get to the second verse, and I'd be like, man, why do I keep hearing Moneybagg Yo killing
Right.
this shit right now?
Right.
Boom. I had to get him on it, bro. Like, it's either that or I'm putting a song out with one verse and a hook. Like,
Right.
Cause
It just
for
got,
real,
either
it
way,
just-
it had to.
yeah, like, it got to that point, and I was just, that's all I could hear in my head. So I was like, nah, he got to be on this.
Right. You got so many features, you know, on this project, big ones at that. Like, you know, we talking Nas. I'm from Queens, so when I see Nas on there, I'm like, oh, Belly's out here wilding. How did that come together, man? Nas, like, tell me about that.
Man, Nas, first of all, you know, we all know this is a legend.
Legend.
Hip hop, what do they call it? With the statues?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Damn. Mount Rushmore, yeah. The Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore shit, right? So he's definitely rapped Mount Rushmore, and we all know that.
Facts.
You know, but I think the thing that like really amazed me the most is like when I put out Mumble Rap, he actually pulled up to the house and came to listen to it. And I was just like, I was in awe. Like, that was the first time I officially like met him.
I'm surprised on Mumble Rap too,
You know,
like
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
So I was in awe. I was like, damn, this is crazy. He's in the crib and he's listening. His phone is down. He's not looking at nothing. He's really listening to the music. And I was just like, I respected that so much. That was like another lesson for me in it, you know, in itself.
Yeah.
Was to just see like somebody that's got that type of status and as legendary as him, like actually taking the time to go and you know, check on this new upcoming
That's a
guy. I
fact.
want to hear what he's doing and all this, and it was like really dope. So in my mind, I was always like, yo, I'd love to have him involved with one of these projects. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So on Immigrant, there was something that I wanted to do, but I never even ended up putting the song on Immigrant, so I didn't even bother trying to put him on it.
Right.
And then with
What made the timing
with
good this one?
project,
Yeah,
it just felt right, man. The whole moment felt right, and then like to be able to bridge the gap too, like with the Weeknd and his world, and then Nas and his world, and
Yeah.
bring that together on one song.
Yeah.
Like, that's legendary to me. That's something that is one of the greatest accomplishments that I could really mention in music. You know?
Love that. Were y'all in the studio together for that one?
No.
Send
for
it
that.
back, yeah.
I mean, me and Abe did a few sessions for that song together, but with Nas, I just sent it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Another record I wanted to talk about, Money on the Table. You and Benny. Listen, first of all, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all two niggas is two of the hardest rappers. We talk about bars and just getting
Thank
it
you,
in.
man. Thank
So was your approach like that? Like, you know, like, all right, you laid your shit. You know Benny gonna come out and go crazy. Is it a competitive nature when we talking about like bars and features and stuff like that? Like when you going it up like that?
I mean, it's you know, this is rap. There's always something, you know, that's competitive about it. But I think there's also like a sense of admiration, you know what I mean, for people that you work with. When you like love like lyricism and love, you know, that side of it. Yeah, there's always gonna be some admiration, man. It's like, I'm actually a fan. So
Yeah.
that's the part that makes me want to go hard, not the part that I'm like, oh, I gotta beat Benny on this song. It's just like,
Right.
yo, this is dope, man. He's one of the hardest dudes rapping right now. I'm a fan of this dude. I'm gonna make sure I'm on my P's and Q's because I do this shit too. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We're gonna get together on this shit and make sure this is one of those records. And so that's really what drives me, man, just to be able to work with people that I admire and respect. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it feels like, you know, this is the first time I'm meeting you, but just kind of watching the story outside in, like, you know, you've been at it working with big people for a minute, right? Like, even in the writing capacity. I know you wrote for, like, Beyonce and different things. Like, tell me how much differently is the approach, like, I'm about to write a record for somebody, especially like B, right? Like, I'm about to write a record for Beyonce versus, like, you know, you writing your own shit. How are the perspectives different in creating?
I don't never approach music like knowing who I'm gonna give the song to. You know, I go in there and I make songs, and then sometimes like I don't know that it's even dope in whatever world
Right.
it sits in until somebody hears it and is like, "Yo, are you crazy?" Like,
Right.
but I just go in there and make music, you know, like whatever I feel, I'm gonna stay true to like to my emotion that day, to like my mood, my feeling that day, my energy that day. I stay true to that, and I make, you know, songs based on that, you know.
Just how you feel.
Yeah.
So how you determine like where it goes? Is it like people in your camp who be like, oh, I think this is good for that? Is it like you making requests? Like how you kind of pick and choose the songs that you wrote, like, and where they get placed at?
Man, the universe. That's really how it happened. With Beyonce, it was Big John. You know,
Platt. Shout out to Platt.
Yeah. Shout out to Big John, man. Big John was me and me. He hadn't even signed me yet, because he was the first person to sign me to any deal. I had my publishing deal before any deal. So when Big John was actually just meeting with me, he was just like, play me some stuff. And I played him that like demo, like the reference.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was like, this shit is going on Beyonce album. And I was like,
Yeah, right. Somebody tell you that, it's like, what?
no, come on, man. Like, you know, and I already knew, you know, Big
Platt,
John.
yeah.
This is you know, one of the top guys and one of the best people in the music industry in terms of just like, you know, being a good person, you know. But yeah, that's how that came about. So I say it's the universe, man. That's number one. It's like, you know, if I would have never been in that room that day with him, that would have never happened. So
Right.
the universe brought it there.
I love that, man. That's super dope, bro. I think another one of the interesting things about you, because, you know, like I said, is like we know you for bars, bro. Like every time you do a freestyle, you light it up, it go crazy, viral. Like we know where you coming, the bars is definitely gonna be there. Just being like, you know, you put out the mumble rap tape, like in the game has shifted, right? Last few years, like just the way people rapping, the way a lot of OGs, you know, talk about bars, the way the kids is formulating bars is just it's different. You know what I mean? How do you feel like, you know, in the place today, does bars still have the same meaning today that they did before to Belly?
Yeah, I still listen, man. There's a lot of people putting dope words in the wordplay and all that, but I think it's like a pendulum, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's gonna be this side, and I think now it's swinging back to the side of people wanting to actually say something.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on, so I think people want to say something about the current climate.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. I mean, you very open, just, you know, about the current climate. I know, like the Immigrant tape, when I listened to, I thought that was super dope, just because the perspective was so different than, you know, a lot of shit that we get. Obviously, right now, like we're seeing a lot of shit going on in the Middle East, right? Like Afghanistan and the way the U.S. pulled out and a bunch of things like that. Like when you see that, you know, just kind of being in the position that you are, like, one, I guess, what does it make you feel? And then two, is it like some shit that you feel like you can do in that type of space?
Honestly, man, I do what I can whenever I can lend my voice or donate or, you know, whatever I could do, I do, you know, from where I'm sitting at. But I think as people, it's gonna get to a point where we just gotta remember, like, every time these politicians make a decision, the only people that suffer is us. Like, and they're all good. They're all chilling. Anytime they make a decision on foreign affairs, the only people that suffer are the actual people on the ground that are going through it, right? And these guys are the ones sitting around making decisions. You know, so I think it's going to get to a point where, you know, we got to turn that around. We got to turn the power around and put actual, like, we got to put us in power. That's what it's got to be, you know. And until that happens, I think we're going to see tragedy after tragedy. We're going to hear people speak out and do the same thing, try to lend their voice and donate money and all of that. But it's like an endless thing until we make, like, you know, real change from the top to the bottom. Yeah,
no, for sure. I love that. Being that your album is coming this week, I know this month in particular, I just feel like the whole month of August had been like funny, just release dates wise, like Drake and Ye, like you never know when it's gonna come out. I feel like everybody's been like, yo, I gotta get away from this date, we don't know. Was that something that you took into consideration? Just like, it feel like they've been chasing around each other on release dates. I don't know, that's what it feel like. You think about shit like that?
No.
Not at all, just I'm gonna come when I come, and it is what it is.
Because to me, bro, like, you know, no disrespect to nobody, you know what I mean? Just me as an artist and just my belief in myself is like, nobody's gonna drop a better album than me.
I love that.
So I don't care when I drop, I'm gonna drop. And like, people that know. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean?
If you know, you know.
So, you know, that's it. That's all it is for me. I never think about stuff like that. I'm always, if I have a date in mind, I'm dropping that date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Another thing I wanted to ask you too, because I read this. I think, a matter of fact, you said it on Nori, and I was like, is this so many? Because you've been around, like I said, you've been around for a while and working with a bunch of different artists. I know you told the Rick James story on there. We said like you rolled up for Rick James and he was like, what the fuck? Like, it was just awkward and shit like that.
Yeah.
How many? Because I've definitely had moments myself. Like, I've been in the industry for like almost 10 years, and I've had like weird ass moments with artists, different people. Like, do you have other moments like that you could really pinpoint that was like, damn, that was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, kind of coming up? Is always those type of.
It was a funny moment. I did a radio show one time. I can't remember where I did it. Like, we were like in some, you know, it wasn't like New York or LA or nothing like that. It was like, you know, somewhere probably like in Middle America or something. And I was in the dressing room. It was like a radio show, right? So it was like multiple people using the dressing room, right? So like right before you perform, you use it and whatever. So I'm in the dressing room, and then Lil Dicky was performing. And then I guess part of his show was like he would like strip down in his underwear.
Oh, for his set.
So I'm standing in the green room, like trying to get my mind right before the show. I'm smoking. I'm trying to like just. And I didn't even know who Lil Dicky was at this point.
Right.
And he just waltzes into the green room. And just some tighty whities too. I was so heated. I was like, come on, my man, like at least boxers or something, bro. Like, damn.
The Speedos on.
You know, but now that I see
you know what it is.
The show and all that stuff, like I understand. I'm like, okay, nah, I fully get it.
Yeah,
man.
That's hilarious.
Nah, his show is crazy too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dicky.
Shout out to Lil Dicky, man. That's a super dope story. I love that. Just kind of, you know, moving forward, like I said, and I don't like to be the guy pushing too far forward because you're about to just drop an album, but what do you expect? Like, are there expectations that you carry when you have, like...
You know, that's actually like something, another new ideology that I'm trying to live with, man, and that's, I'm not looking at nothing that's gonna happen later on. I spent too much time doing that, like looking forward, looking back, and not getting to enjoy what God is blessing me with right now. You know what I mean? And now I'm at the point where I want to enjoy my days. You know, I brush it off. I don't let things ruin my day no more, because I want today to be beautiful. Tomorrow's not promised. Yesterday's gone already. Yeah. But if today's beautiful, everything's all right.
Yeah, Belly, I ain't gonna lie. It's because that's hard for me, right? Like, because like what you're saying is like when you put out work and then you try to like disregard the outcome, right? Like, I'm gonna just put it out, forget what happens, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's hard for a lot of people, especially in the game, because, you know, you have expectations and where you wanna be, and then you got your peers is doing X, Y, and Z. How was that for you? Because I just feel like I said, I know you've been grinding for a while in that space, though.
Preparation, man. Preparation kills anxiety. Like, that's really what it is. If you're prepared and you believe, then you gotta know what your shit is gonna do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just the same way you know you woke up this morning to go do your craft and to work on, you know, whatever it is you do, or whatever it is anybody watching does, right? Just the fact that you woke up with that and you know that you're gonna be prepared, and you know you push yourself as hard as you can to be prepared every single day, it kills the anxiety. It kills it. Like, you know, as soon as I started approaching interviews like conversations, I never got nervous about doing an interview again. So I'm like, damn, I have conversations every day.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Right. When I used to think about interviews like interrogations, I would sit there like, but I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know nothing. Now it's like, damn, we just sitting here having a conversation. It's different. So just having that preparation of mind and understanding certain shit, it just kills the anxiety of all that, you know? Yeah. And shit, man, the future ain't even promised to none of us. So it's like, what are you banking on? You know what I mean?
I love that, bro.
I bank on today.
Yeah.
Let's get it today.
Let's get it today. That is a fact, man. That's a super gem. I know you got a flight, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. The last thing I wanted to note, and this is just more of a business structural question, just because, and I always think it's interesting with artists like that sign to other artists, right? Because you build, like you and Abel, again, just outside looking in, y'all appear to be like real friends, like tight, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
I don't know what the structure of the deal looks like and how many more albums and things like that. But like when things like that kind of come up, like, you know, album commitments are done, I got the option to like, you know, move elsewhere and different things like that. But that's your man. How do you balance that as an artist, right? Like, it's like my man versus the business decisions that I decide to make.
If that's your man, he gonna want the best for you. So if a better deal comes along and he can't offer you, then he's not your man if he don't let you take it. You know what I mean? That's how we operate. We just want the best for each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care, you know, what angle you got to take to get what's best for you. That's you.
Right.
End of the day, you got your own legacy. I got mine. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make sure, you know, whatever I could do to make life easy for my guys, I'm gonna do it. Whatever dots I can connect, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at, you know, none of that stuff. It's just like we just want the best for each other.
Nah, for sure, man. Lastly, you know, you Toronto, or you Canada, right? Was it Toronto? I know it's Canada.
Ottawa.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's what I said. I see your face.
I lived in Toronto for, you know, almost 10 years.
What you think made it? I mean, obviously Drake is Drake, right? But like, what you think made it to with the whole Canada is like really a factor? Like, it wasn't always like that. You know what I'm saying?
It was just untapped. It was untapped. You know what I mean? It was like the oil field they hadn't found yet. It was like the diamond mountain they hadn't discovered yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Canada's always been one of the most incredibly talented places, like per capita. Man, there's so many talented people in Canada, and I've always felt that, even as someone that traveled young and stuff like that. And I was always moving around. I never spent too much time in one place. I always would tell people from early. I was like, just wait. I said, look, they've looked east, west, and south. And there's probably interviews you could find from 15, 20 years ago where I was saying this shit. Yeah. And I was like, they've looked east, west, and south. They've never looked north. And you know what's crazy is they finally looked north. And look what happened.
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. Do you feel like, not pressure, but like, you know, being one of the leaders of that, you know, of that movement, do you feel like, man, I got to extra put on and shit?
Nah, I'm like, man, look, and where I sit, I think it's like a mutual respect thing with everybody and everything that I come, you know, in contact with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never betrayed nobody, fucked nobody over, stolen from nobody. I've never done none of that shit that makes all that toxic, weird feelings that you get when you go somewhere.
Right.
Because you know, damn, this person might be here or that. Nah, I don't feel that. I don't go through that. So I think it's always been, you know, me respecting the game, and the game is always respecting me back for that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think there's no pressure, especially in Canada. Canada, as an industry, you know what I mean? Like, the industry knows, you know, how much work I put in and how much work the industry put into me and how much we were able to gain and accomplish because we had the country behind us. You know what I mean? So yeah, it goes both ways.
No, I love that, man. Belly, I appreciate you coming to pull up on me, man.
Yes, sir.
Dope conversation,
Cigar
man.
Talk. I'm about to go outside and smoke my cigar.
Oh, yeah, we gonna go outside, get right, man. This is a dope episode. XO, my guy, Belly. Oh, yeah, shout out to my guy, Slow, too. He's supposed to be here. Shout out my guy.
Shout out Slow.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming, bro.
Nah. Yo, dope episode of Cigar Talk. My man, Belly, we out of here.